KIYRA LYNN with Hollywood First Look Features, and today I'm joined by Darius Marder, who is the director of Sound of Metal. I'd like to know what it was like casting Riz as Ruben, who, before taking on this role, didn't play the drums and didn't know sign language. Talk to me about what led you to, ultimately casting him.
It was a long journey to get to Riz because, when I started the process of casting, I didn't even know he existed. I mean, it was many years. It was before he even did Night of, The Night of, and all this stuff. So, because this goes back quite a ways. And in a way that was really good because I worked my way through a lot of different actors and conversations and versions of this movie. And it really showed me when I met Riz the caliber of a man I was meeting. And that's just the truth. There is a human and an artist in Riz Ahmed that's not common, and it's not just about it's hard. It's ineffable. It's like, here's a person that is, what I was really looking for is that a man that was willing to be vulnerable. And that's not a common thing in front of the screen. Vulnerability, male vulnerability, we don't see that all the time. It's scary, and that's the whole point. And he was game, and he was appropriately scared.
It's important that you stay here with us right now, Ruben. We're looking for a solution to this, not this.
To be cast in this role and being able to use this gift, what was the experience like for you just being on set?
KIYRA, listen, I've been out here a long time, and like every other actor in Hollywood, I've been trying to write a script that would star me. Every actor does that. But when this script came along, it was like, oh, the work was done for me. This guy wrote a role that was made for me. So to bring that to the script, it was a very powerful experience, a joyful experience. I couldn't believe it was happening to me. After years of doing day player roles, after playing the homeless guy out here, or the desk clerk, but still doing 99-seat theater, and still practicing my craft. But to be able to do this with a role that's so close to my own life, it's a real gift.
What I love about this film is that the audience is just plonked into their life, and we don't patronize the audience. The audience is forced to fill in the gaps and kind of take subtle cues and subtle gestures and figure out who these people are from that. But I think working out this codependent relationship that she has with Ruben, how they came together, how they're trying to care for each other, and how that becomes a hindrance in his recovery, especially in how that affects her, was something that was quite profound.
Learning the drums was really difficult, but I had a great teacher in Guy Licata. Learning sign language was difficult, and I had a great teacher in Jeremy Stone, who I ended up naming the character after when I renamed him Ruben Stone. But I think the toughest thing is always the emotional stuff. It's kind of going inside and finding the emotional overlaps between yourself and the character, and allowing yourself to be vulnerable in a process that can be quite tricky. That's filming movies can be sometimes an artificial and a rushed process, and it's really down to Darius Marder's leadership that we all took this leap of faith and shot this film in 4 weeks. And I think he captured something quite honest.
I need you to wait for me. Okay, you're it for me, Lou. You're my part. You're it for me. Okay, you gotta wait for me.
There's this scene where Lou is making the decision to leave. You could feel that intensity. Talk to me about filming, that particular scene.
It was so intense. The film was so intense. We rehearsed musically for a while before we started filming, Riz and I, and then we were practically living in that airstream for 3 weeks. We were in it every single day from the start to finish. And when we did that scene where I eventually have to go, we've already been through so much together, and he's wearing these in-ear devices that's just playing white noise. So he can't hear me. And so we are trying to communicate in whatever way we can in order to get our point across. And Darius made sure that we both had our own experiences and were kept quite separately away from our own little worlds in those moments.
I can't hear you. Do you understand me? I can't. I'm deaf. I'm deaf.
Darius has described you as incredibly engaged in life, and that as an artist, you're constantly on this path of discovery and growth. So I'd like to know, in playing Ruben, what did you discover about yourself? And then in playing him, how has that helped you grow as not only an actor, but as a person?
Yeah, thank you. He's very kind. I mean, I describe Darius in the same way. You know, we kind of refer to each other as gobblers, in that we're always trying to gobble up everything in our path and just want to experience and learn from everything as much as we can, which sometimes can be a little bit, destabilizing. You know, it can be uncentered in our energy. But I think we were able to center each other in this process. I think it's partly why I jumped to the opportunity of taking this role on, was because of the drumming and the sign language, all the skills, that I'd have to learn to go with it. And I knew that as much as I'd learn about the drums and the deaf community, I'd learn a lot about myself and my own blocks in undertaking that journey. So I think it opened me up in lots of ways. I think a big way they both opened me up is I can hide behind words a lot. I'm a spoken word artist and a rapper, and drums and American Sign Language are both types of nonverbal communication. I remember Jeremy Stone saying, hearing people are emotionally repressed because they hide behind words. Whereas when you communicate with your body, you are embodying what you are saying viscerally in a different way. And so it really opens you up. So in a way, the deaf community taught me the true meaning of communication, and so I kind of hope to carry a lot of those lessons forward.
Well, Riz, brilliant performance. So congratulations.
Oh, thank you so much, KIYRA. I really appreciate it.
Sound of Metal is playing in select theaters and will be streaming on Amazon. This is KIYRA LYNN, and I'll see you next time.